Hey guys, Ben back here for Next Level Radio, bringing you yet again another guest spotlight. This time around we had the opportunity to speak with Joe Minoso, one of the cast members of NBC's Chicago Fire. Joe was really cool to talk to, very engaging, a whole lot of fun. So rather than bore you with a long introduction about the interview, we're just going to let it speak for itself, and we want you to just go ahead and listen. We encourage you to follow Joe on Twitter at Domino Show, which you'll be able to find on our website, www.nextlevelradioonline.com, as well as under the video description that you see below you on YouTube. Or if you're listening to the audio, you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/nextlevelradioonline, as well as on Twitter at NXTLevelRadio. You'll find all Joe's information somewhere on all three. We encourage you to subscribe to all of them. And that's about does it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this interview with Joe Minoso. Hey everybody, Ben back here for another guest spotlight here on Next Level Radio, and I am joined as always by my co-host Adam Gorey. In past spotlights, we've talked to musicians, comedians, writers, and directors, all great guests, and tonight, of course, is no different. Our guest tonight got his start mainly on stage after receiving his bachelor's degree in fine arts from Adelphi University, and then his master's in fine arts at Northern Illinois University. Since then, you've been able to see him in shows such as Prison Break, Shameless, and Boss, as well as the film Man of Steel. But now you can catch him every Tuesday night on NBC's Chicago Fire. Please welcome to the show, Joe Minoso. Joe, thanks for spending some time with us tonight.
Absolutely, buddy. Thank you so very much for having me. I appreciate it.
First off, how you doing tonight, man? I know it's are you in Chicago right now?
I am. Yeah, we're still actually filming. We got about another week worth of filming left, so we're wrapping things up, but I am still freezing my butt off here in Chicago.
Yeah, I know our temperature's going down a little bit here. We're in the Philly area, and we just went from about 80-degree weather this weekend down. We're going down to, I think, about the 40s or 30s in the next couple of days.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, because that's exactly what we just experienced.
Yeah. So you're originally from the Bronx, but now you're currently living in Chicago. How long have you lived there, and what's your feeling on the city so far? I'm sure you got to love it if you've been there for a while.
Oh my God! Well, I've been here. I graduated from Northern Illinois University in 2004, and I immediately moved into Chicago. And the city just took me up and wrapped me up in its arms. It's been just such a beautiful place to live. I'm such a fan of the people, and I'm such a fan of the city itself. And it's such a joy and a thrill to be able to actually film something here. I think part of our success, a large part of it, is because of the fact that we film in the city of Chicago.
How's the pizza?
Oh, brother, fantastic. I got to tell you, I'm not really one for the deep dish versus thin crust wars that they have out here. But I'll tell you what, man, as far as I'm concerned, all of it is pretty damn good.
Pizza's pizza, It's all.
So now you have an extensive background in theater. How does that compare to working in television now?
They're different animals. You definitely have to kind of train different muscles for both art forms. I think, doing theater has its own particular grind, especially if you're somebody who is kind of a Chicago theater actor, who's kind of growing up in the boards. There's not a lot of incredibly well-paying jobs up there for theater, but, you do it because you love it, especially in Chicago. And I was lucky enough to be embraced by a beautiful theater company here, Teatro Vista, which is a local Latino theater company. And thanks to them, I got seen by a lot of the right people, and I've really been blessed with where I've been able to go with my career.
Now, is it true that you decided to pursue acting and get into theater and all that after watching A Girlfriend in a School Play?
I mean, I don't necessarily know if it was specifically her that I was so enamored by, but I did. She did take me to go see her in a play, which happened to be the very first play I ever went to in high school. It was a high school play, and I remember by intermission, I was like, I have to be involved in this. I was actually, as the guys were moving the set around to set up for the second act, I was like, can I help you guys out in any way? Is there something that I can do to, maybe just be a part of it? Because it just seemed so exciting and so vibrant and alive. And I immediately joined up, and I haven't really looked back ever since.
That's awesome. Do you remember what play it was?
It was called The Hotel Paradiso. It is a French farce that has a lot to do with mistaken identities and door comedy. It's a lot like Three's Company on stage.
Well, if it was so good that it got you into acting, I might have to try and see if I can find it somewhere.
Oh man, good luck to you. I would love to see if you can find it, because I can't imagine if anybody is doing that play still. It's hilarious though.
Now, do you still keep in touch with the girlfriend that kind of got you in? Not necessarily got you into it, but
No, it's funny that you see that. She just recently Facebooked me. She said she was going to be coming out to Chicago for a couple of days, but I think unfortunately it's going to be too late. We will have already been on hiatus, and I'm going to be getting out of here, taking a little break from Chicago. And I don't think I'm going to get a chance to meet up with her, but it's funny that you mentioned it. Literally, just like 2 days ago, she just contacted me.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Now, you also made your feature film debut last year in Man of Steel. So what was that like?
A lot like being an extra. It was a very limited role. I basically played a police officer who kind of guided people away from a tumbling building. But I will say it was really fascinating to take that on, because there was like 150 extras literally running in my direction, and I'm like waving them to come my way. And so while we're all supposed to be pretending that there's a giant building that's collapsing right on us. And so just being able to do something of that scale and that mass and just something that large, and to commit with 150 people to one moment that was supposed to be, that we're supposed to kind of bring to life, was so exciting. And I would say even better was the opportunity to meet Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, he's an incredible actor. I had the great opportunity to be in the scene with him, or we were in the same vicinity, and I had a chance to kind of sit next to him in the chair and just just kind of watch him, and it was a really incredible experience. I'm a big fan of his, so that's really the takeaway from that one.
Do you have any plans to do any more features or anything like that? Anything in the works?
Oh my God, brother! Anything that anyone would be interested in casting me in. It's hard because the schedule for Chicago Fire keeps us pretty busy. We're pretty much working 5-6 days a week, 14 hours a day for about 10 months out of the year. So it becomes pretty difficult to find some time to do any other projects. But I am in the process of auditioning for a couple of things here and there, and then hopefully, if something comes through, it does. But if it doesn't, I'm just fine taking a breather.
Yeah, best of luck with that, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's move on to Chicago Fire, since that's your current project right now. For our listeners that might be living under a rock and don't know anything about the show, that might be unfamiliar with it, can you give us like a short synopsis? Like, tell us a little bit about what the show is.
Absolutely. I would say Chicago Fire is basically a story that revolves around the men and women of Firehouse 51, and it's basically how they go about their lives and their job being the family that they are, with all of its family, with all of the idiosyncrasies that come with being a family, and all of the drama and the comedy and the tears and joy that come with being connected to anyone as a human being. It just so happens to take place in one of the most dangerous jobs in the world.
Yeah.
And I got to say, it's been so great just because it takes a certain kind of person to run into a building that everyone is running out of.
Yeah.
And to do it solely for the purpose of trying to save another life. It's a really selfless act. And it's really just it's such a beautiful thing to be able to kind of just portray and share with the world. But yeah, I mean, it's basically just a big family trying to get through the trials and tribulations of being firefighters.
Yeah, I think that shows. I think that shows too, because I mean, you guys all seem, just through social media, it looks like you guys are all pretty close off screen as well, and it really does show on the show.
It was kind of instantaneous. We were really lucky there. We don't necessarily know, Amy Walker, who plays the chief on the show, he, back during the pilot 2 years ago, he said, the one thing that no one can ever predict is the alchemy of a group of people. And, for some reason, the chemistry that came with the group that got put together when they did this show really works. I mean, we truly adore each other. I am a huge fan of every single person that I happen to share that screen with, and it's a great, great gift to see them work week in and week out, and to get to meet and work with some great guest stars. We've had just some amazing people, both from outside of Chicago and also from inside the city of Chicago, people who have really just kind of I've been a big fan of for years, either through Chicago theater or just kind of working with them, throughout the past couple of years that I lived here, and it is just really a joy to get to see them kind of rise and show off their talent.
Right, and I mean, obviously, with a drama, at least the dramatic parts of the show, with firefighting, not everything's going to be able to be completely authentic. What do you guys do? What kind of steps do you take in order to try and be at least, as accurate as you can be?
Well, they actually, it's a big process, and they try their best to be as accurate, as painstakingly accurate as possible. We have an incredible technical coordinator. His name is Steve Chikarotis. He's been with us since the very beginning. He's involved in the entire process. He starts with the writers and helps them figure out the accidents and write out all of the emergencies. And then he takes that and translates that into how he can help us in terms of showing off how to do it properly. We also have firefighters there at all times. We have one of the guys who's actually on screen. His name is Tony Ferraris. He plays the squad driver, and he's an actual firefighter who is there with us for every call, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
And he is there always constantly telling us and helping us with the proper protocol and the proper way to take on a fire. And also, we're surrounded by them. I mean, anybody that you see that looks like a firefighter that isn't one of us is an actual firefighter.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're always so open to answering questions and helping and trying to help us look as authentic as we can. So really, we rely a lot on them, and they're just so great about it.
Yeah, I know. I was actually a firefighter for a couple of years, so from what I've seen.
Oh my God! Thank you for your service.
No problem, man. It's not a problem. But from what I've seen, just looking at the show and looking at pictures behind the scenes and things like that, the things that you have as far as the uniforms and the helmets and the equipment, it all looks pretty legit. So I'm curious as to, I know from wearing that stuff on my own and hauling that equipment on my own, it's hard. I mean, it takes a lot of work. And it really takes it out of you. I can only imagine, you guys doing it for hours on end a day. How legit is this stuff that you guys use during the show?
Everything that we have is 100% Chicago Fire Department issue.
Really? Even as far as the breathing tanks and everything that you guys use?
Yeah. Yes. Well, our breathing tanks, the masks themselves are designed a little bit differently so that our full face can be seen. Mm-hmm. But it is forced air. We are still, the mechanism works exactly the same. Once the mask is on and we're sealed in, we're breathing in forced oxygen. So it's exactly like the firefighters. And the gear is all actual fireproof gear. I mean, all of our fire is live fire. There's very little CGI when it comes to the fires. What you see is what you get. We're really in the room with all of that smoke and fire.
Wow.
So the equipment is almost kind of necessary.
Yeah.
And so, they didn't take any chances with that. They just decided to give us exactly what it is that the actual firefighters use. And you're right. One of the best compliments I ever got was from an actual firefighter when we were doing a huge scene where we were, walking. We were literally in those tanks, and in those tanks for about 10 or 12 hours that day.
Yeah.
You took your breaks when you can to get them on and off, but it was just a brutal day. And one of the firefighters came up and he was like, "I gotta tell you, guys are tougher than we are because we don't have to wear them this much every day, all the time."
And I have to.
And I was like,
yeah, I have to agree with that completely because, I mean, times when we wore them, it would maybe be a couple hours, and you guys are wearing them for hours on end. So, I mean, bravo to you guys, too, for doing that.
They're still totally wrong. There's no way that we're tougher than they are. But it's a grind. I tell you what, it's funny because there's very few days when that bunker gear is perfect for the weather. It's either like way too hot outside to be wearing it, or it's way too cold outside to be wearing it. So it's like, it's like there's about 6 days in the city of Chicago where the weather is perfect for bunker gear.
Yeah. Now, as Adam had mentioned before, the show is a drama, but it does have some elements of humor as well, and your character definitely adds a lot to that. Do you prefer the dramatic side, or do you prefer the comedic side when it comes to things like that?
That's a really good question. I would say that I love doing the comedic stuff, especially because of what the result on set is when we get to do stuff like that. I actually just recently, a scene between all of the guys, pretty much, all of the boys from the truck and squad, were sitting in the kitchen, and we were all helping Mouch out with giving him tips on dating. And so we decided to end up doing like a mock date, and I ended up playing the girl in the mock date.
Yeah, that was good. I just watched that, actually.
Okay, yeah, and then all of the guys were kind of helping, him and giving him tips and stuff. And that was really, as far as I'm concerned, and I can actually say that a couple of the guys share in this, definitely Christian Stolte, who plays Mouch. It is by far my favorite scene that we've done in our 2 years. For a lot of reasons, it was hilarious, but I think it got to show people off in a really good way. And I think, what I get to see of the firefighters, as much as I would love to try and go on more ride-alongs and actually see them in the thick of it, what I get to see is a bunch of guys busting each other's balls and being brothers and having a good time.
Yeah.
And so anytime that we get to do that on screen, I feel that we're being as authentic and genuine as we can, because it's what I'm most used to seeing the firefighters do.
Yeah, for sure. I think my favorite part of that scene, too, that you mentioned was when, they had said for him to kind of branch out with his questions, and he asked something like, what are the 5 things that make you most afraid? And your response was, this date now. That was great.
That's what I'm saying. It's the writing, man. The guys, that's another thing, But I would say, to answer the last part of your question, you can't get away from the drama. There's been some stuff that's been given to me in terms of storyline with my brother and where that went between season 1 and season 2. That was highly dramatic. Mm-hmm. That's when you really get to flex those muscles. It's when you really get to kind of prove your weight, and you really get to work. And so you can't deny how exciting moments like that are. But as far as I'm concerned, man, bringing joy to the world is the best thing you can do. And so anytime that we get to give people a couple of laughs is, just fine by me.
Awesome. Well, I know we're running a little short on time because I know you got to get going, but we always like to end our interviews with what we call our rapid fire. Basically, Adam's just going to shoot 3 or 4 questions your way. You don't have to go into any kind of detail. Just answer with the first thing that comes to your head.
All right. These always terrify me, but let's do it.
Well, in kind of honor of Man of Steel, who's your favorite superhero?
That's a lot harder. Can I just say the entire Marvel Universe?
That works for me.
You sure can.
Cool.
What country would you most like to visit that you haven't been able to yet?
Australia.
What's your
because of Jesse Spencer?
What's your favorite guilty pleasure music, song or artist?
Oh man, I'm a pop nut. I love pop music. Like and I have no problems admitting it to anybody. It's like I love to defend pop. When I have an argument with somebody about classic music, like alternative music versus hardcore rap and pop, I'm like, you know what, man? There's nothing wrong with a good boy band song. So that's definitely a guilty pleasure that I have no problems admitting to.
Awesome. Favorite ice cream flavor? Last one.
Oh man, so many good ones. Definitely mint chocolate chip.
Oh, you are a man of my own heart. That is my favorite as well. All right, well, we're gonna let you go, but we just want to we absolutely want to send people to go check out Chicago Fire, 10/9 Central on NBC. We want to send them your way on Twitter. You're at Dat Minoso.
Minoso. Yeah, like the Bears, Dat Minoso.
Yeah, Dat Minoso. You can also follow Chicago Fire at NBC Fire and check them out.
NBC Chicago Fire.
Oh, NBC Chicago Fire. Sorry, I have it right in front of me too, and I'm still screwing it up. But
oh man, I can barely get it right myself. There's so many titles for things nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Joe, thanks a lot for spending some time with us, man. This was awesome.
Oh my God, dude, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and you guys have an excellent day.
Yeah, you
Thanks,
do the same, man. Take care.
Congrats on season 3, by the way. You guys just got renewed last month, so good job.
Yeah, brother, we're pretty excited about it. You know, it's such a joy to be able to be with this group of guys and girls, and I look forward to sharing with this family for years and years and years.
Yeah, we're gonna keep watching, and we're definitely gonna send more people to the show. So
I love it, man. Sounds fantastic. Thank you.
all right, man. Take care.
All right, you too. Have a good one.
You too.